Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Stiggy. We're back at it again in a 2018 Tesla Model 3. Pretty nice car. As you can tell, a lot of leather finishings here. Leather at steering wheel. This is definitely not a leather. Feels like kind of a plasticky, interior. I love the black piano, black piano gloss finishes here. The only bad part about this is that you could probably see a lot of dirt and scratch it. Well, it's not really scratched up yet because it's only a year old, but it does definitely show some imperfections as far as the daily use and wear and tear. So this is my friend Alex's daily driven Model 3, and as you can tell, he's kept it up in a pretty good condition for about a year now, and it does have about 24,000 miles on it so far.
25.
Yes, 25. There you go, 25,000 and counting. He does daily drive it to work. He also takes it to Chicago. He takes it to Quincy. So here in Central Illinois, it is it's been serving him pretty well so far. Obviously, the touchscreen, as you could tell, that's a big, pretty much a centerpiece of this car as far as control module and the brains of it. So I love how intuitive it is, how fast the GPS works, how quickly you can get to places. You've got your music, you've got your car settings, everything is right there. And your heated seats, well, don't want those now. Your navigation, your climate and music, and then here's a little bit about the car itself. So everything's very neatly integrated into this easy to use, intuitive, super simple control module, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. And then the two stocks on here, on the left, you've got your obviously turn signal and headlights, and as well as the sprayers for the windshield washer fluid, and on the right side you've got your drive, reverse, and park. So this is Mercedes. This is kind of like what Mercedes does with their newer cars, where they get rid of the whole shifting. There's no gear leveler, there's no knobs, there's no, it's all on the right side, and it's not like old school vans or big SUVs where you had to pull a lever. You just tap it with your fingers. And then this one is your audio controls, I believe, on the left here, and this is probably the cruise control. So yeah, let's get this thing going, and I'll give you some of the impressions of me driving this. So to put it in drive, obviously foot on the brake, and then you turn the knob down. This nicely shows us there's a car back there, and it'll tell us what's around us. So we're just gonna kind of cruise around this college parking lot here, and as you can tell, it is super quiet. We don't have any music in the background. We don't want to catch a case as far as copyright. So I love how smooth it is, but it's also very, very responsive at the same time as you're taking turns. Now, the only thing that I'm not really used to coming from a gas car, almost any gas car out there, that I'm definitely used to, as soon as you let go of the accelerator, if you will, it's not really a gas pedal because there's no gas. As soon as you let go of the accelerator, so I'm going to take a right here, coming across some really sunny areas, so I'm just going to punch it a little bit, just a little accelerate, and then let go. As you could tell, I don't know if it really does slow down. So the motors are definitely going to slow down the car. So especially if you really let go and let it coast, it doesn't really coast. It just brakes. So engine braking, if you will, in those terms. So it does it works well. I think it's a pretty neat safety feature. They could kind of cut back on how aggressively it pulls you back as far as slowing down. So let's take a right here and go down College Ave and go back towards some of the fields back here. So yeah, there it is. Would have to probably not let go of the accelerator as fast in order for it to kind of easily coast into a stop sign or easily coast in traffic, especially if there's somebody behind you and a bumper to bumper kind of situation where you got bumper to bumper traffic and cars everywhere around you. It would be I think it would be easier if it didn't break you down so aggressively like it is now. I just let go of the accelerator and it goes down really fast. But I mean, once you get used to it, I think it's something that you can definitely get a hang of. And it's kind of nice too that, you know, especially if I was coming up on this 90-degree turn, coming from one side street to another, you just let go of the accelerator, it slows down for you. You don't have to hit the brakes at all, and you just get on your way. And again, super, very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but very responsive steering. We're gonna, once we get out on the main road, we're gonna showcase the autopilot features of this car. And as you can tell, it's trying to figure out a lane, but this is kind of an older, not as well maintained street, so it's gonna have a little bit of a harder time figuring out where the lane is exactly. Once we get out on the main road where the lanes are nicely painted and everything's nicely paved, it's gonna look a lot neater and smoother. So I like the steering wheel could be a little bit bigger, especially for the car this size, but it is, I mean, this would definitely compete in the mid-size market, you know. So it's all right for a guy my size. I think, you know, because I have pretty broad shoulders, I could use a slightly bigger steering wheel. So let's get out of this girl's way and go right on Morton. We're gonna go west against the sun, and there we go. There was a cop there, but we're in stealth mode, so we're okay. And it nicely kind of, and then there's a Lexus in front of us, and it's showing up as a little SUV, which is nice. So now what we're gonna do is, actually no, this is not how you activate it.
Yeah. So you shouldn't speed, and the nice thing is when you turn it on, it'll turn on. So double stock on the right stock.
Double stock
quick,
down.
Quick, not all the way down, just quick.
There you go. So now we're in. Thanks, Alex, for your help. So now we're in autopilot mode. You've got two solid blue lines here. It's showing us our max speed, and it's probably saying that because of the speed limit, right? So this is the max you should be going technically. And it's really cool, yeah. It's exactly, it knows exactly where we are. As you can tell, I don't have my hands on the wheel. Obviously, I'm going to keep it next to the wheel just in case there's somebody that pulls out quickly. And then what is this line here? Does that mean that it thinks there's grass or something, or is that just because it's the curb?
It's the curb.
It's just So it just detects that there's a curb to our right, and it's slowing down because of the car, applying slight turning force. Yep, sure, there you go. So it knows there's a car in front of us, and it's definitely gonna slow us down, as you can tell. 35. As soon as that guy speeds up, there you go. So we're slowing down because the person in front of us is also slowing down. And what's the lowest speed that this autopilot's gonna work on? You know? I
think it's 20.
About 20 miles an hour. Fair enough. So you could definitely use this around town. Obviously, right now there's almost nobody behind us. Well, much farther behind there. A few cars in front of us, so we're gonna. And from the speed limit, let's see how quickly. So if I'm pretty quickly, there we go. So we've got autopilot activated, and I could just tap this little wheel on the right side to increase the speed limit, So. And it's actually really, really pleasant to use this. Even though I accelerated pretty quickly, it didn't just want to take off. It actually accelerated smoothly from 35 to 45, which is not bad. Now I wonder, this is grayed out. That means I can't mess with it, right, Alex? Because we're driving.
Well, it's best not to.
It's best not to, of course. So let's not get distracted. Let's go back to our compass here. There we are. It shows where we are exactly. So we're trying to get on the highway here, and then we're just gonna pull here back to South Jacksonville and head back to there. So we're just gonna do some highway pulls and kind of showcase the power and the torque and acceleration of this awesome Model 3. Views are pretty awesome, with with this sun. And obviously,
you hold the steering wheel.
should, yep, apply slight pressure. There you go. Slight force. There you go. And I should probably cancel it as soon as I tap the brakes. It cancels it, so we're gonna go towards Springfield here. Check out those views, guys. Pretty much views on views in this out in this environment. Pretty nice views. So here we are. Here we go. We're gonna get this on ramp.
Well, don't do that when you're turning, because it wears out the tires.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Alex. So Alex doesn't want me to wear out the tires. He's absolutely right, though.
And they're expensive.
And they're not cheap on this car. So we're gonna smoothly accelerate. So the speed limit is, let's say, so in the city it's 55, right? So we're gonna slow, kind of coast to 55, and make sure. Let's keep it at 55. And there you go. There's 55. Obviously, it's 65. Oh wow! So this knows the speed limit, and it automatically puts me to the speed limit. That's another fun fact, which I don't think any of the gas-powered cars that I've driven have that. How smart they are. So 55, and then we're gonna accelerate to 65, which is, it did it pretty quickly, but it also did it very smoothly. I didn't really feel any jerking, any violent kind of acceleration, and so we're gonna keep it at that. I think it's gonna let me go up to like 70 maybe, and then there's our accelerometer, I guess, to get us up to that speed, and then it'll level off at 7. Details of it. But however it's designed to keep you on the road and to work, it's doing a fantastic job. And I'm looking in the side view mirrors. We have about a foot of space on each side, so it's keeping this car aligned exactly center lane. So it's definitely not having any issues there. As far as the efficiency of it, let's see, how can we get to that? So this here. So
the
there's our. What's that?
Steering wheel.
Yep, steering wheel. So currently we're at 48 amps, and it's supercharging. So shows you a little bit of cost and scheduled charging. I guess you can set up a schedule. It gives us the percentage on here, and oh, nice. So you've got your 46 psi all around, and this is our charge information. Last charge. There's the play Rockefeller 101.1. I just came up with some stuff. I don't think it's gonna work, so let's see. Oh, it actually works, not bad. How about this? Play Above and Beyond on Dance Station. And there's lane changing. Perfect, because there's a guy in front of us. He's going a little slower than us. There we go. Let's do Above and Beyond at a lower level, obviously. This is kind of cool. There's your backup camera in case you're on the highway and you want to see what's behind you, which is nice. Obviously, I'm sure this will automatically enable itself. Keep your hands on the wheel. Prepare to take over at any time. Yep. Thanks. So yeah, this is we're almost done here, guys. We're just gonna wrap up a few things with some of my conclusions as far as driving of this thing, interior driving, and I guess recommendations or final opinion. So the interior, great. I have absolutely no negatives about it. The one thing I would suggest for Tesla to improve, I would say, is the size of the visors. They could be a little bit bigger. They are tiny, and as you could tell, there's the sun in my eyes, and I think and then also if they would extend this back a little bit, obviously to compensate for the lack of the size of these visors. And if you open them up, they do slide, perfect. So that's nice. And you've got your tiny mirrors here, which work in a tiny car Miata there. Pretty cool. But yeah, so the inside is obviously very quiet cabin, very plush materials, and very, very plush materials, very soft leather here, soft leather around the steering wheel, around the the armrest on the door itself, the armrest in the middle console. Plastics are higher quality. They're not as harsh or as cheap looking as some of the other cars that I'm exposed to as far as my rental fleet cars where I work at. And the only kind of gripe I have with the interior is this piano black glossy finish that you could see absolutely every imperfection, every fingerprint, every piece of dust that you might accumulate, or hair, or whatever, what have you. So that they could definitely improve on that. They could have maybe, I don't know, a version that that gives you that option. So do you want piano black? Do you want more matte style, or do you want whatever, to customize it, basically customize your interior? More options for customization would be nice. Now, going to the drivability portion of the review, go ahead. I think they would do a much, they've done a great job of making sure that you feel, I guess, separated in a way from the outside as far as the quiet of the cabin. But obviously, you could definitely open your windows and hear everything outside just like you would in a normal car. But as far as the sensation of steering and handling and the immediate power delivery, if you want to accelerate or brake, or motor brake in this case, not engine brake, I think it's great. They did a great job. They could definitely improve as far as on lower speeds and higher speeds when maybe set up a sensitivity in the settings. I haven't really messed with it that much. That would definitely be a big step up there, especially for people that are transitioning from an internal combustion engine into an electric car like this. So set up some kind of braking sensitivity, or braking intensity, whatever you want to call it, in order to make it a little bit smoother and not as jarring as it is now. As far as acceleration, it's great. I mean, the more power you can squeeze out safely without these batteries burning up or the motors burning up, I think it's awesome. But again, the braking is kind of, it's a little bit annoying. It's it's definitely something I could get used to over time, but some people might have an issue with it, and whether it'll be a deal breaker for them or not, I don't know. So here we are, and final conclusion. I mean, great little car overall. It's definitely something you should consider if you're looking at electric. It's fun to drive. It's comfortable. It's got the performance. Definitely no questions, no ands, ors, or ifs or buts about it. It definitely has plenty of pep to it. It does feel nimble, but heavy at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's something you could definitely get used to, especially on longer drives. On the highway, obviously you want the stability when it gets windy, when you're passing trucks or being passed by bigger cars than you. You want that weight. Around town, I think it's something you can get used to. Price point, obviously this car's in 40s, depending on what packages you add on to it. Can get into probably 60s, if not more, as far as Model 3 goes. And then on the lower side of it is, 35 to 40? 35, sure. Ish. So yeah, it's if you're looking for a car that's within that price range, I think it's something to definitely consider. Especially if you're in a bigger city where the supercharging station network is obviously a lot more developed and more elaborate versus out here in the rural area. But I'm definitely sure that our company is gonna work on that and get that network updated and more built out. So yeah, I think, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this car, if I could, more than 10, like probably 11 or 12. Definitely in love with it. Definitely would love to drive it a little bit more. And yeah, it's an amazing alternative to an internal combustion engine car that most of us enthusiasts are used to. And I think you guys should definitely give it a chance and at least go for a test drive if you don't want to spend the 40-50 grand on it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching this quick review. It was really impromptu. We totally did not prepare for it or scripted anything. But I hope it turned out okay and you guys enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to leave a like, smash that like button, or smack it, whatever you want to do. Subscribe and leave a comment letting us know what you'd want to see next. I'm definitely going to work on my own car, hint hint. It's not as cool as this, but yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace out.